You guys like this shirt from Riddle? This shirt is actually so cool from Riddle. Krillix, thanks Krillix. Well, I guess we can just talk about how the tournament was, right? Like outside of the tournament and like during the tournament. Yeah. I don't like the land was like obviously like not what we wanted at all. It was definitely not what we wanted, obviously, and we feel like very demoralized because after split one where we got second, specifically me and Sweet got very complacent and we didn't really play and practice, hence why we did bad. Just like, you know, the main reason, right? You don't practice, can't really expect to do very good. But we changed it around completely for champs, which we didn't have the most time to prepare, which we got Shiny. We picked up Shiny to really help us get on track for champs, because there was a lot of people I know saying like we didn't play, like we didn't really like have passion for the game anymore, which was true to an extent, like 100%. Like before, like during split 2, we didn't play very much during the pro league. We didn't really do well in the split 2 pro league. We didn't scrim. We barely played outside of scrims. It was really only guild that was playing. Everyone really knew that. It was just a really complacent way to react after split 1. Yeah, well, TSM has always had the worth ethic, right? Pal, for example, is a great example. He's been playing and doing it every day, like 8 hours every day, since the start. Literally since the start. Like I've been playing this game and like competing since the start, that like the same time that Hal was. I just didn't really get like known or really like anything till like I'd say like a year after the game came out. I don't really know what to expect. I don't really know what the plan is either, or like what is gonna happen at all. So why'd you guys get complacent? Well, it's just like that was during the time where like ranked was like brain dead easy and you're just like killing like silvers, right? And then like when I say complacent, it's basically like we did well split 1, we got second and we had like the most points or whatever, and we didn't play or like scrim at all. And then we did the same thing for split 2 and expected the same results. But I guess what I wanted to really talk about was the stuff outside of like what everyone else sees during just in general with me, Sweet, and Gil, and like Shiny. I'm gonna try and speak like unfiltered, but like not really like go really like super into it. But the main issue that we were having was Sweet and Guild. Basically, I mean, so we were scrimming with like we were scrimming prior to champs, right? Like every day, and a lot of it was on stream, and we had like Shiny with us, right, for like the first like month, let's say, right? And after like the first month, Shiny, like before we picked him up, he already had like vacation plans and everything, right? And he still, like, even with his vacation plans, right, he still managed to come to champs, even though it was like during his vacation initially that was planned like a long time ago. He like skipped out on like going to, I don't remember where it was, like Spain or Rome or something. He like skipped out on his vacation with his like husband or whatever to come to champs and like be our coach there, right? Be like the pillar, like our support pillar, right? And that week that he went on his vacation before we left the champs was really rough. Like, some of the scrims were streamed, and you guys saw how like hard Sweet is on Guild. He's like unnecessarily like really hard on Guild. He was like literally like tearing into him, like, and like it was like it was to the point where like I felt like so bad, like I had to like talk to Guild, and then I talked to Sweet, like, you know, like individually, and tried to like, you know, like make it so like it wasn't that way. Made it like so basically like after that week of scrims where Shiny was gone, it was like really bad. Like the 3 weeks and month prior, like we were doing really well in scrims and like everything was looking really good. Like, you know, vibes were good and everything too. But that week that Shiny was gone, it was really bad. Like we were dying in like really dumb ways and like getting really upset because like we're playing in the morning, so like everyone's like waking up and like, you know, like not everyone's the happiest when they first wake up in the morning, especially at like 7 a.m. Be the mediator. Well, that's what kind of Shiny is there for, right? So like basically when we got a coach, right, we kind of wanted to like release the pressure off of like Sweet to like basically like we got Shiny because we wanted him to focus on like the mistakes so Sweet didn't have to. So like Shiny would be like, if we've made a mistake or something, that like he would be the one telling us, because the way that Shiny approaches that kind of stuff is like way better and like easier for like some people, you know, because not everyone can handle the like, you know, being yelled at like how like Zero or Hal or Sweet does it, right? It's a much easier way of an approach, and Gil definitely appreciated that approach more than the way Sweet did. So the week that Shiny was gone, it was like there was really no one else to do it but Sweet, I guess. So, but it was rough. I'm trying to speak like unfiltered so you guys like really understand like what was going on between me and the squad, but the reason why it was just really hard, you know. I'm like struggling to like find like the words to use and like put it together and structure it properly to like you guys really to understand. So after we came to champs, I'm sure you guys were watching our group stages too. Our first day, our first group was pretty good. We got like what, like 58, 59 points or something, right? But to be fair, all of our points were in that first game. Like we got like what, 20, 12, 32 points, so 32 of 58, that's like more than half, right? So like our other 5 games like weren't that great either. And then the group after that, the 2 groups after that were not like good at all, and we scraped by like barely, right? And I'm sure you guys like picked like the command center. Our command center was working, right? Like comms and stuff, right? It was working, right? Okay. Well, you guys probably heard it. So like Sweet was still like, we tried talking to Sweet, well, at least me and Shiny. I don't know if Guild ever had that one-on-one with Sweet. I'm sure they did at some point, but prior to LAN and everything, me and Shiny really tried to like tell Sweet to like hold back a little bit, you know, like don't be so hard on him, because the reason why is like we think that like, you know, it's like some people take it like differently, you know, like some people can be yelled at like that and still play to their like best. Like some people need that like, you know, like lock the fuck in type shit, right, to really like lock in, right? But for Guild, we thought it was the complete opposite. So the way that Sweet was approaching him was affecting his play like a lot. And then when I was talking to Guild and I asked him, I'm like, is the way that, you know, Sweet is talking to you, is it affecting your play? And he was like, yeah, it like, he like said that basically like it was like messing with his like confidence, and like he was like doing like really bad walls, because that's like pretty much like the root of it was because of like how he was using his wall. So since that was the case, we talked to Sweet and we were like, yo, like try and hold back a little bit, like just like if he fucks up, like it happens. Because like for me, when shit like that happens, it's like, you know, everyone makes mistakes, right? It's just not in my personality to really like be like talking to someone like that, even though like I am upset myself, especially in finals, like especially like when that fight in outside of Launchpad, right? The fight outside of Launchpad to E6.
We displaced. Swing right. Flash. I'm batting. There might be a team in the lake still. I'm gonna queue in the air. Kill these guys. Swinging left. Go left. Bang on top. He's in my own lane. Play my dog. Nate, I'm gonna jump on you. I'm gonna jump on you. What just happened? The team on the height that ate this.
I literally killed 2 and hit the other guy 150, and we still somehow lost. I was so upset. I literally threw my fucking headset at the desk, and I got up. I was like so mad. But even though like they made mistakes, like it's just not in it for me to like really like say it like that. I don't know. it was really upsetting for me, at least that fight. Like it was like I don't know what really like happened still to like this moment, but I mean everyone makes mistakes, right? So I mean it's really just like minimalizing your mistakes and trying to play like consistently. Isn't that Sweet's role? What, Sweet's role to like what, fix the issues? No, the whole reason why we got Shiny was so Sweet doesn't have to worry about anything else but his own play. That was the whole reason for the coach. But it's kind of like out of personality, because Sweet is a very like talkative person. So like even like when we die, the person that does most of the talking anyways is already Sweet. I think that that's just in his like nature. But the whole reason why we picked up Shiny, not the whole reason, but one of the main reasons is because so he could hinder the mistakes that we made and minimalize them, and he could focus on the mistakes that we make so Sweet doesn't have to, and he can just focus on himself, his own play, his macro and everything. So, but I mean, after looking back at our games, we all talked about it briefly, and we're like, I at least this is what I said. I basically said that like comparing our games to TSM's games, right? Like you could say like they're 3 back-to-back wins, like their Skyhook win.
FaZe against TSM is only going alive. The name from Burrows. FaZe get eliminated, and TSM are your Game 6 champions.
That was like, you know, like a really hard game to win. They won it, like, you know, like props. Like that's a really hard game to win. And but you could say like, oh, like the second game they got gifted their wall zone, you know, but even though they get gifted their zone, it's still hard to like, you know, win the game. Like
3 teams left, and the circle's looking like a skittle.
No one knows who anyone is in Optic. Once again, they can't manage it. It's going to be Dojo versus TSM as the circle closes at TSM.
Because like even though they get a gifted free zone, they play the same building every time, but they play it like perfectly without making mistakes, so they still win the game. Regardless if they get a zone or not, they're playing their native zones correctly and taking advantage of them and like winning the native zones that they're given. So basically they're doing good on the games they should, and the games that they do bad, it's kind of like neutralized because they're doing well on the games that they do like they're supposed to do good. But for us, for example, like I would say we got like some decent zones. And I said that if TSM was put in our shoes in the same exact like spots that we were playing same Lu and everything, like I still think that they would have been able to win. Because I think we had the potential to win that tournament played properly. But we didn't play it how like correctly, so it didn't go the way we wanted it to.